Walking through the Russian literature section makes me feel like a sinner. Insensitive. Dostoevsky and the other jawbreakers, you know, Tolstoy, Solzhenitsyn, Turgenev, Dumbledore, every single one of them keeping their sadness in their beards. Epic, masculine sellers of a people's despair overflowing onto bland black suits, the way to generations raised on vodka and potatoes and cold statues. Just flipping the pages, I can hear the coughs of tuberculosis and pneumonia, the click of malnourished bones. Sure, we're generalizing here, probably being a little ethnocentric, but every one of those volumes still comes off the shelf like a tombstone, and also like an anvil, because the grief is that heavy, and also because, if we're honest, the Central Party ran out of tombstones years ago. You can stack all the Russian literature together in the whole wide library and have enough height to change a light bulb, and enough sadness to create a black hole. So please just don't stack all the Russian literature together. Just the single sentence can carry more sadness than Simple Plan's whole discography, and weigh about as much as the Oxford Dictionary of English, which is a lot of weight for a bookshelf or even for a human being. But thankfully, thank God, sadness is like smoke, and sometimes you just gotta open a window, let it diffuse into the greater air, get swallowed up. So let's open a window. Let's open a window together and grab the Oxford Dictionary of English and bench press that baby. Get swole like Arnold, but really like Ryan Gosling. Hey babe, read me those 17-syllable words. Let me soak in their sound. Defenestration, smaragdin, sesquipedalian. Let me luxuriate in language. Now teach me Russian. Teach me Greek. Let's read about the implementation of elementary Russian into primary schools. Hold the book's callous covers like our grandparents' hands when we were children. The spine flying between them like a rope bridge. Our feet walking on air. What a joy to be alive. To breathe. To hold a book another man held in the spring of 1984, maybe a woman. How old? How did he or she feel about lilacs, about the Cold War, about macroeconomics? So many opinions held beneath the skin and bones that held this book up against the rudimentary physical forces acting upon it in the spring of 1984 that are also acting upon it now. Man, that makes us colleagues, compatriots. We have all got at least one thing in common. There was a person who hand drew the typeface of this book. I bet Russian people have different fonts like we do. Vanny and Helvetica and Times New Roman and creepy Gothic Chiller and Cyrillic and different and wonderful. My friend Jonah is dear to my soul, and my friend Jonah promises, swears that anything in the whole world is interesting if you just pick it up and put it under a microscope. And my friend Jonah's soul is the biggest microscope I know. He tells me of the homeless people who come to his bank to deposit Catholic Charities checks for $7.25 and who tell him about their cats. Homeless people have bank accounts and cats. I found one once climbing the fire escape of an abandoned rehabilitation center for youth in downtown Lynchburg, Virginia. I found the white and orange cat's brand new food bowl and water dish sitting new and terrifying out of place beneath a weed grown from the building for so long it had a half-inch stalk and leaves the size of a decorative 17th century serving place. Man, homeless people are people. The Oxford Dictionary of English tells me that there are lost words, but I think that sometimes we just lose each other in our words. People lost like trees in the forests of our phrases and labels. In 2013, the U.S. tax code was 73,594 pages long, and I used 500 pages of computer paper every semester at Lycoming College in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, sometimes more, and thank God I have never, ever read the tax code. Depending on how you calculate, though, just me and the tax code are anywhere from 3 to 9 trees, and my page count alone is enough to start losing people. Pray over me in Chinese. There are scores and scores of Chinese dialects, and Jesus Christ speaks every single one of them. Jesus does not lose people. Pray over me in Dutch too, as Swahili, why don't you? Jesus knows all of the languages. Let's sing the national anthems of other countries together. They have them too, you know. There are 150 countries, that's 150 histories, all thumping their geopolitical chests and trading their dollar store toys and their oil and their minerals and their literature like Pokemon cards. The earth is the bushes at recess, and we're all hiding from one another, passing Charizards for cargo ships of coconut oil and tanks. And speaking of tanks, tanks have tow trucks, and those tow trucks for tanks have turrets on top, because sometimes tow trucks for tanks need turrets. A friend of a friend got a concussion in one so bad it split the two hemispheres of his brain like a heart. The tow truck for tanks hit a Jersey wall in Iraq, trying to turn around because sometimes tow trucks for tanks need to turn around too. My friend of a friend got his concussion, each brain hemisphere deciding on the mutual trial separation at the behest of the bolt and the ceiling that cracked his helmet, and the divorce. His ability to build things got forgotten, bounced about between the parents but never quite feeling at home. My friend of a friend is a very, very real fleshy heartbeating kind of person like you and me, and he's currently somewhere in southern Connecticut trying to build himself a barn again. Painfully, devastatingly slowly, trying to relearn how to build again, to coax his talent out from under the stairs to come home. Let's rewind. There are Jersey walls in Iraq. There are people in Iraq, people who drink beer and chew gum and text while they poop and have babies. There are daycares in Iraq. The people in Iraq have 46 chromosomes. We have 46 chromosomes. The terrorists have 46 chromosomes. The members of ISIS, their impotent machetes hacking away at all the wrong oppressors, have 46 chromosomes. They are made in the image of God. If I'm honest, sometimes I hate that. If I'm honest too, Jesus was probably brown. Jesus probably looked like a terrorist. Jesus was a terrorist or a revolutionary or something semantically similar. Jesus was a threat. It's amazing what you can do with words. Jesus was and is and will always be my king. Jesus threatens my comfort and my status quo. Jesus makes me want to kiss you, not on the lips, but on the head. And the deepest love I have ever known. I want to hold you as honestly as I can, wrap you up and dance, spin you beneath these warm lights. We are alive. Our God is alive. I'm currently sitting on a wide white marble bench, perfectly positioned beneath a clear glass skylight, leaning my back against clear glass. I'm walking on air again. The walls of this art building are lined with the pieces of people's souls, glistening strands strung up and down like veins. And this bench is shockingly well designed, a startling blessing. There is music on. Someone is practicing the piano. That is something I cannot do. My fingers, they can't even fathom it when I ask them. And that's just electricity, me asking them, and I am surrounded then and now and always, and you are too, by an unfathomable number of indefinable little specks of matter, whatever the heck matter is, all bumping into each other at just the right time, at just the right speed, at just the right way to produce a girl I cannot see practicing Chopin in a back room I can't see either. What a miracle. What a miracle to be alive, to breathe. To sit on a shockingly well-designed, wide, white marble bench, perfectly positioned beneath a clear glass skylight, to reach out and put my fingers in Dostoevsky's beard and to comb out that sadness. What a miracle to watch Jesus combing and waxing the cellars of our sadnesses, catching all of it up in his hands and raking our sins into mutton chops and planting seeds in our super fun hearts and growing corn and pumpkins and squash and tomatoes and zucchinis. What a joy to watch the harvest come in. You know, if you've seen it, do not forget it. What a joy to interlace fingers, to dance, to study Greek grammar, to have O'Hara tell me of the trees and their spectacles. Man, I can hear them breathing now too. And Pablo, I can see those flowers that don't bloom, and I can carry their light within me now too, next to Yuri Gordon and his fonts. Oh, Yuri, what a joy to be alive. The soul is an empty library, and I feel daily, minutely, momently, God himself is checking the books back in. One by one, I am growing up in the knowledge of God, the speaker of worlds, the designer of kneecaps and holding cheeks and palms and hair between fingers, the designer of taste buds, Chick-fil-A and Chipotle, a ballet across my tongue. I am in love with you and with being alive. With the music that's on, Jesus dropping a needle on the turntable, the earth 1 gram 45, America a hymnal, and the Holy Spirit teaching us to sing it, and Sirius 1-2, and the ocean, Pacific and Atlantic, 2 dialects like Chinese, and Jesus hears them all, speaks them all, spoke them all first, teaches them all day and night. The heavens pour forth speech, pray over me in Dutch, worship with me in Hindi, shout with me in Ebonics. God has seen me naked every moment of my life, and he still calls me son without hesitation. Do the electric slide with me beneath the stars? What language do they speak? Who knows? But I know it's praise. Teach me the hustle. Let's hug everyone in the whole freaking world, and my friend Bradley too. But let's do it as Swedish and make Swedish meatballs for everyone Swedishly. God is a generous, 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 faithful God. Let's eat ramen and raw cookie dough and give thanks for minimum wage and yachts and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 with old friends and their wives, because praise King Jesus, there is music on. Can you hear it? Praise King Jesus, there is music on. Can you hear it? Praise King Jesus, there is music on. Can you hear it? What a miracle that in a time of nuclear war and plots to bomb everyone, in days where I cannot shake the sadness on my own, two people can still love each other, and I can eat raw cookie dough with them and do kickflips and not break my legs. Praise King Jesus, there is music on. And so I am learning to dance through the rows of Russian literature, through the lobbies of libraries of schools I don't go to, through gas station parking lots and grocery store aisles, through the Capitol Rotunda, through Tiananmen Square and Times Square and Trafalgar Square and Trailside Elementary's Foursquare Court, through Chipotle, my favorite restaurant, through Cape Canaveral and the subway in Chernobyl, and riding that Ferris wheel and doing the hokey pokey and chang chang changity chang shabab all the way to the top, dancing all over my grave. Jesus and me and you and my parents and Tolstoy and everyone, we are all dancing and we're all singing, and it's a Hosanna and a hallelujah and amen.